Alrighty, so a little bit of a different video than I normally do. So this one is going to be about meeting our team for year one. And this is a little bit different because I don't normally do these kind of videos. I normally just play the games and, commentate over them, but I wanted to be a little bit different and maybe a little bit more entertaining here with this one. Show off the New Mexico Lobos VCFA lineup and talk about our decisions on who we're starting, why we're starting them, and just kind of go over some guys to watch if you're going to be paying attention to the Lobos this year. I don't know why you are, but I mean, in case you are, first things first, our quarterback room is not terribly great. There's not a lot here to be happy about except for potentially freshman Cole Welliver, who is 6'7", 220 pounds, out of Flower Mound, Texas. He is impact dev, the only impact dev we have on our current roster. He does have the best throwing power in the room. However, as a pocket passer, he does not quite have the speed. And at least year one, our playbook, we're going to be using, to this point, we're going to be using the New Mexico playbook since that we kept the offensive coordinator. So we're going to play with the New Mexico playbook, and it doesn't really fit his skill set right now, but depending on the year we have and whether or not he sticks around, because another thing about Cole Welliver, he does have a deal breaker of championship contender, so we will need to win some games to potentially keep him around. But he is a solid quarterback, at least to start, especially as a true freshman. If he doesn't get any playing time, he will get redshirted, so that'll be kind of nice. We're going to be going, however, with junior redshirt Jack Lane, threat quarterback. He is the second fastest quarterback on the roster, but his skill set as far as throwing the ball is much better than our fastest guy, Isaiah Chavez, who is a redshirt senior. Yes, he does have some skills that would help as far as the run game goes, so maybe we sneak him in some certain sets. But Jack Lane is going to be the guy, and his backup is going to be Derek Hills, who's 5'11", another pocket passer, so the offense will change a little bit when Derek's out there on the field, if he has to get out there on the field. But we're going to be grooming for Cole Welliver or future quarterback prospects that we pick up. But we are looking for quarterback year one. Hopefully we can get one either in the transfer portal or through recruiting, depending on how our season goes. But this is the kid we're kind of playing with right now, is Cole Welliver to build around. And Jack Lane, he's a playing style guy, so passing yards are going to matter to him. So we get enough passing yards to get him out. He does have gold extender, which is going to help for sacks. And he has bronze option king. We do have some speed options in the playbook, so those will help with that. Running back room, this is our strength by far on the team. This is our deepest area. We're going to be running the ball quite a bit probably, which is going to hurt our chances of keeping around Jack Lane, but Jack Lane isn't really a huge deal to get rid of if he ends up leaving via transfer portal. But Scottre Humphrey is our best player on the team by a good bit. He's 84 overall. I believe he's one of 480 overall players on the team in general. You can see two of them are in the room right here. Scottre Humphrey comes in with silver recoup. He's got bronze, shifty sidestep, 360, and armbar. So a guy who can be a power back or a Juki style back. He's not great at either one, but he can do both of them in a pinch. Great abilities across the board for New Mexico. He's got 91 speed, 91 acceleration, 88 carry, got 78 truck, which is pretty solid, and decent catch, 56. Although his backup, DJ McKinney, has silver shifty, and he has bronze 360. He is a normal dev, unfortunately, but he's also an 81 overall, our second or third best player on the team. And his deal breaker is playing time. So this is going to be one of those deal breakers that until he gets into the mid to high 80s, we should be able to supplement that pretty easily because it's going to be a 1-2 punch with Humphrey and McKinney. We do, however, have some decent depth here. Deshaun Buchanan comes in as a redshirt sophomore. However, his deal breaker is pro potential, so he's probably going to be hit the transfer portal. 5'9", 189 with 360 armbar as a bronze. Normal dev, he's a little bit slower, so he's not as good as the rest of them. His carry leaves a lot to be desired, as does DJ McKinney's. When McKinney is in the game, we have to be careful around fumbles because this kid is going to probably put the ball on the turf. Then we have Donovan Hall, who's a converted wide receiver, judging by the number. He's got decent speed. He is a backfield threat because he is our third down back. He's got 78 catch out of the backfield. And if you look at his short, medium, and deep route running, or short, medium, and release, you can kind of gauge that he probably converted from wide receiver, along with the fact that his number is 86. I can't change that because he's a real player, unfortunately. And then Rashawn Carmichael down here as head first. He's an elusive bruiser, but he does have a full playing exposure. So I'm not really worried about him because he's probably going to hit the portal, and I'm not going to cry about that. He is by far the lowest. And if we get to Rashawn Carmichael, we are in trouble as far as from a depth standpoint. We do have a fullback on the roster, Isaiah Roberts, who's a junior. Has platinum recoup. That's really all I can say about this guy. There's not many formations in the New Mexico playbook that will cater to his skill set other than goal line. So there's not much he's going to see. He's not going to see the field a whole lot. And he's not really super talented to begin with. So, but, I mean, fullbacks are fullbacks. He does have playing time as a deal breaker, which is something we can't give him until his senior year, and he's a junior. So I don't see a problem with him playing out his time in New Mexico. And we probably, depending on playbook style, we probably won't get another fullback. I know I didn't last year with UL Monroe. We jump into the wide receiver room, and this one is the Keegan Johnson show. He will definitely be our guy that we look to just about every play because he is, as you can see by the overalls, the best wide receiver by a long way and one of our few 80-plus overall players. Clocking in at an 82 overall with 90 speed, 93 acceleration at 6 foot. He is a redshirt senior. He's got bronze 360, bronze cutter, bronze recoup, and silver sidestep, so he can be dangerous in the open field when he gets his hands on the ball. We do have a lot of wide receiver screens, mid screens, that we look to take advantage of his skill set. We may even consider moving him into the slot to just make sure we maximize his utilization because he is a long, long way away from our number 2 wide receiver, which at this point is Michael Buckley, according to the numbers. He has platinum recoup. He's a junior redshirt. Now, I will say in practice, this kid has impressed me with his ability to come down with footballs. Even though his numbers may belie that capability, he does have decent route running skills. But he is a junior, unfortunately, with pro potential as his deal breaker, so he's probably going to be harder to keep around. The guy I'm looking to develop, or 2 guys I'm looking to develop here, or 3 actually, now I look at the roster. Isaiah Blair is going to be one guy I look to try and kind of hopefully play where Buckley is. He is our kick returner because he's by far our best kick returner. I believe he clocks in at 94 and a 93 for kick and punt return, respectively. Average hands, average route running skills, but silver sidestep and bronze takeoff will help immensely. 5'11", 190 with 87 speed. We do not have speed on this roster anywhere. In fact, I think you've seen the fastest guys that we have, 91, 91, and 90. We don't have a lot of guys above 90 speed on this roster. Hopefully we can change that. The next guy I'm looking to develop is this guy, redshirt freshman Darren McCullers. Now, his deal breaker is a little bit problematic, his playing style. So we're going to have to throw the rock around a little bit. I believe his is receiving yards. I'd have to double check with Speedster. But either way, we're going to have to improve upon that. He does have only 86 speed, but I urge you to look at his size and weight. At 6'5", 230 pounds, this is a kid that if he does stick around in his sophomore year, he will be moving to tight end because that is just going to be an outrageous skill set at 86 speed. He will definitely be a monster at tight end. May not be much of a blocker, but he'll definitely be a vertical threat. The other guy I want to build up is true freshman Ziel Smith. He doesn't look like much to write home about. He doesn't have a whole lot of skill caps as far as quickness. An 85 speedster, you're probably like, why would you consider building him up? The reason is playing time is his deal breaker. So I'm guaranteed he's going to be around. So I want to kind of develop him now so he sticks around and gets to a point where he might want to transfer. He's not going to get there in year one. So my thought process is throw him out there now, throw him into the fire, and get him some skill points so he can develop. So he's on the depth chart. He is starting at the slot wide receiver spot right now, but I might alternate that with Keegan Johnson. And he is third on the depth chart as far as wide receiver. Isaiah Blair is the number 2. Buckley is the number 4. And the rest of these guys don't really leave a whole lot to be desired. Sean Miller is 84 speed. Cater Job has platinum recoup, but he also has pro potential as a steel breaker. And Mikey Beck down here at 85 speed, speedster, unfortunately has pro potential as a steel breaker, so I'm kind of expecting him to move on after the season. I want to focus on guys that are going to stick around or have a chance to stick around next season. So I'm looking at guys like Blair who have playing time. I'm looking at Colors who has playing style, which I can probably bump that during the season to a point where he's satisfactory because it's low overall. He doesn't have a high deal breaker there. And then we get to tight ends. And the tight end room is not great for anything. Dorian Thomas is probably going to be our guy that we look to. He is a pure blocker, but he does have solid catching out of the gate. Decent route running skills for a tight end. He is essentially going to be in there to make sure we can run the ball, which is what we're going to be doing. Now, I will say our second tight end is going to be Trey Dubuque, and the main reason is he comes in with a 50-50 silver ability, and playing style is his deal breaker, so he will start the number 2 spot, even though he is a little bit slower. Valdez is our third tight end, who is also another run blocker style guy, which kind of makes sense for this team. This team is going to be a run first, run second, maybe even run third team. It's going to be a run heavy team coming out of the gate. Our offensive line doesn't leave much to write home about. It's not great. In fact, I believe overall wise, well, I say overall wise, the middle is good, but we'll start at tackle. Kevin Shaw is actually going to be our backup, even though he's listed as the higher overall, mainly because Elvin Harris, as a younger man, also a man who might stick around with playing style, comes in with better pass blocking skills than Tevin Shaw. Tevin Shaw, probably a guy who should be more of a guard, but he's out here playing at tackle. We're going to have Elvin Harris starting at left tackle for us, even though he's a redshirt freshman. He comes in with basically essentially the same skill set as Tevin Shaw, but more room to grow. At guard, we're going to have our veterans. This is where our upperclassmen are going to come into play here. Israel Mukwiza, hope I pronounced that right. He's going to be starting at left guard. He's a solid guy, but he is also a senior. His backup is also a senior as well, so I'm not really worried too much about their deal breakers. They don't have any skills to speak of. We have behind them, we have James Bailey and Martin Thurman. Again, not a whole lot to write home about here. Not a lot of skill here. And then Martin Thurman is going to be gone because of brand exposure. And Bailey's going to be here for playing time, so he's a guy that's going to get some reps as we move forward. I believe actually he is the second string and Neville Brown is third string, just to go ahead and get him some playing time. Our center, man, we're going to miss this guy. This guy is by far our best center. Isaiah Silliman, redshirt senior, so this is definitively his last year. He's a great blocker inside. You can see he's got a lot of skills. He's got silver workhorse, gold inside shields, platinum second level, platinum ground and pound. So he is definitely going to be the anchor upon which we build our run game moving forward. He's not the most talented guy in the world, but his skills will hopefully make up for a little bit of that talent deficiency, especially when we get in the Mountain West Conference schedule, whenever we get a little bit lighter schedule. Our schedule out of conference is brutal. We have Arizona, who's a rival, week 1 next week. This is week 0, the time of filming this. We have Florida week 3 at the Swamp, and then we have UCLA as also on our gamut of non-conference. And the only home game we have of the 4 non-conference games is going to be against an FCS team. So it's not looking good for our out-of-conference. So this is the guy who's definitely going to shine, hopefully, in conference play when we start playing our Mountain West opponents. And then we get to right guard. This is our best and our last 80-plus player, I believe, 82 overall, Richard Pierce. Again, a guy who's graduating, comes in with silver workhorse, bronze second level, a guy who's going to be a really good player for a year. We don't have much behind him, but the good news is we do have some youth. Caden Rodman's a guy who looks for brand exposure, so he's going to be out after this year. Championship contender for Tim Gregg. Sakili Woodard is probably the guy who might stick around for conference prestige, but even as he builds up, he's going to look to move. So we're definitely going to be looking for some offensive linemen that want to stay close to home or want playing time, because that's going to be our deal breakers that are going to be the easiest for us to maintain as we move forward. And then at right tackle, we have R.J. Adams, again, another senior. So we have 4 seniors starting on our offensive line. So not a great thing, especially when they're not very talented. Well, some of them aren't very talented. We do have a backup at Power Launch who has outside shield and a prestige deal breaker, which should be keepable. And then Craig Peralta's playing style as well. These are guys that, with their size at 6'4", inside the guard, but we'll see what happens with our recruiting as we move forward. Now the defense. Oh boy, this defense is not good. Okay, we are going to be struggling on the defensive side of the ball to get any sort of pressure. Our best left edge player is going to be Keyshawn James Newby, who's a redshirt senior. That's be a theme. A lot of seniors on this squad as far as starting positions, and not a lot of depth behind him. We have Xavier Slayton, who's got some decent finesse and power moves back behind him, but these are the only 2 dangerous rushers on the left side. Gray Smith has a bit of power moves, but that's about it. Potter doesn't have much to speak about, and Ryan Caldwell doesn't have much either. On the other side, I've got a kid that I really like, one of the few impact players we have on defense, 74 overall, Darren Ague. He is from London, which is an interesting move to New Mexico to get some playing time, but a guy who may not be here next year unless we can get some sacks, which is going to be a tall order. However, he is one of the few guys that does have above 80 in a power move set, or in a pass rush move set. He's got 83 finesse moves. And then we got Okiki Olorofonmi, who is a senior with some decent pass rush moves as well. But as you can see, our depth is non-existent behind it. So we are definitely looking, even though edge is not a supreme target, we definitely would not hurt to pick up any and all extra edge players, especially if they have some pass rush capabilities. And then at DT, we have Tyler Keene as our top guy here at 76 or 75 overall, 76 with the boost. Again, nothing to write home about here, but again, we get some power moves. Gabriel Lopez is a little bit light in the loafers for my liking for a defensive tackle. He probably should be playing edge. In fact, I have him backing up both edge spots at 6'2", 250 with his ability to rush passer. And we have a big hog molly and Brian Booker, who's going to be our nose tackle in our 3-man fronts, because we do run a multiple set here. We run 4-3 and 3-4. That's what Bob Woodbus wants to do. That's what we're going to do. We're going to recruit for it as well. But after that, you can see there is not a lot of pass rush in this interior group. So basically, if any one of these guys gets hurt, our depth is very thin. And this is going to be our bread and butter, because when I get to the secondary, that's when you'll really go, oh, my Jesus, I'm so sorry you took New Mexico. Our linebackers, though, are not very good either. We have at Sam, we have Gordon Staten as our top guy, Jawan Richmond, and Kendrick Lennon. He's the fastest, Jawan Richmond, but unfortunately he's also a senior, so he won't be in the lineup per se. Staten will be floating around in the depth chart, but won't be starting either. Neither will Kendrick Lennon, but not much to say as far as the Sam. Let's look at the Will, and then we'll move to the Mike. This is where our talent is at the linebacking core. We have Jackson Eck, who is a 74 overall. We got Randolph Pye, who is a redshirt junior who comes in with decent attributes as well. He's one of our starters at the outside linebacker position. And we got this kid, Josh Perry, who is a freshman who wants championship contender. I'm hoping we can boost that to the point where he will want to stay, because he does have bronze house call. He does have the fastest, even though he's a small outside linebacker. He is 5'10", 202 pounds. He's more of a safety type. But he does have decent block shed at 68, so he can get the job done out there. A little bit small, but at a place like New Mexico, you're going to have a little bit of some oddball players at different positions, because you just need talent in the field. And he does bring that with his impact capability, because he does have, again, one of the few that has impact development. He will definitely be a guy we look to grow. He's actually starting at the Sam position. And then our Mike. Oh, boy, our Mike is absolutely awful. Dimitri Johnson's listed as an impact player. That's probably just because he's the best guy on the defense, but he is not starting if I can help it. 75 speed ain't great. His play recognition and awareness are solid. His block shed is okay. His pass rush moves are okay, so a guy can potentially get out there and maybe get some pass rush. But we're actually going to be starting Larry Carter, the true freshman, 6'3", 243. He is one of the better athletes at the bottom of the card, and he's also a guy who wants playing time, so a guy who won't go anywhere again. After a year, you've got Hugh Dishman here, who looks like a promising candidate, but brand exposure is a deal breaker, so I'm not focused on him. So Larry Carter is going to be starting at 59 overall. He's going to be starting at the mic with Demetri Johnson backing him up. And then Hunter Haneker as well is going to be in the mix, as well as Mihalis Santorineos, who has that silver bouncer. So that'll be a helpful skill as well. And then our corners. Oh boy. If you look for speed, I'll help you highlight it. You can see we don't have any. We have guys who should probably be playing safety. I'll get that out eventually. Playing corner for us. Our top corner is a 70 overall, at least as far as the listing. He is currently second on the depth chart ever. I'll show you who's starting at corner. Clint Stevens, a box safety with 88 speed, who's a redshirt junior. Also, pro potential is his deal breaker, so he probably is going to leave after this year. I really hope he sticks around, though, because sadly, 70 and 73, he's the best cover guy we got. And you can see we have 72-81 up here, and you're like, well, what about Kywell McCray? What about that? He's got 83 speed. Now, he's 6'4", 200 pounds. I love that. He's also a senior. So what I have him doing is he's actually going to be playing our sub linebacker position. His block shed isn't great, but his speed at that point won't be a hindrance playing that linebacker spot. And he'll typically be in there on nickel and dime situations trying to steal some picks. 6'4", he's got a big frame. He's big at 200 pounds. He's big enough. So he is playing our sub linebacker. But Clint Stevens is our starting cornerback with Tavian Combs starting at strong safety. Most athletic guy we have, and he's got platinum blow up, so that'll help kind of clear out some space in the back end. Our cover skills leave a lot to be desired. We have nobody at a definitive cornerback position that has better than 70 man coverage. Now, I like to play a little bit of man coverage, and I like to play about 40% man. I don't know if I'm going to do that this year. I think this is going to be a very heavy. I'm going to be very close to borderline on that 70-30 zone man rule, because I'm probably going to be running 70% zone just because of the nature of my corners. They're slow when they play zone coverage. Until we get better corners in here, that's what we're going to have to do. You can kind of see what I'm working with here. You can also see we got 1, 2, 3. We have 4 seniors in here, so we're going to have guys that are actually 5. I missed the seniors. So we have 5 seniors in this lineup. So as you can see, we are going to be struggling to get some guys in the room come next year. We are definitely heavily recruiting corner, and we don't even care really about speed at this point. We just care about just getting some folks in the room that want to play. You can see our free safety spot. We've got Austin Brawley starting as a senior, 10-178, but there's really nobody here that's really lighting the world on fire. We got CJ McBean, who has a bronze layout ability, but he's got brand exposure as a deal breaker. So again, if a guy has something like brand exposure or something I know I can't get up that fast, I'm really honestly like, he's gone via transfer portal, and I'm not going to even worry about it. Like, I just treat them like they're not even here. They'll be there just for depth purposes only. We have a lot of strong safeties, but you can see we have a lot of slow guys as well. A guy like Caleb Coleman, if he manages to stick it out, might move to linebacker next year with that 82 speed at 6'2", 200 pounds. He's got 53 block shed, which isn't great, but most of my linebackers don't have big block shed. Ideally, I like side moving a guy like that and lack of speed, which would be good at the linebacker position, 82 speed, but not really at safety. But you kind of see what I'm working with here. If I could put C.J. Johnson out there to play corner, I would. He's an impact dev, but unfortunately he's brand exposure and he's got crap cover skills. Yeah. The kicker's okay, though, but he's a senior. So we're already trying to recruit a kicker, and our punter is good kick power, not great kick accuracy. Carl Steinkamp, but he's also a junior, so we don't have to worry about him until next year. And that is your New Mexico Lobos. I'll quickly show you the depth chart here to show you what we got lined up. But this is our setup right now. In fact, actually, I'm going to swap this out. I'm going to take Mockenbacher. I want Welliver to get a red shirt if I can. Humphrey, McKinney, Buchanan, and Hall. You can see there's our 4 talented running backs. There's our fullbacks, which doesn't matter. Buckley, Blair. So Buckley is the number 2 guy. I thought I moved him to number 3. Blair's the number 3. Dial Smith is the 4. Excuse me. Dorian Thomas and Aiden Valdez are our 2 tight ends. Dubuque is the 3rd tight end, so I'm going to swap that now. I'm going to go ahead and put Dubuque in as the 2nd tight end. Kind of see our lineup basically is like I talked about. We've got we're heavy senior leaders there on the front of the offensive line. We don't have a lot of depth, though, so if any of them get hurt or put out of commission, we're going to be in trouble. You can see we got Gabriel Lopez playing back up at both edge positions, which he can do, thankfully. He is 3rd string here in the regular DT spot, but he is going to be needed because after him, there is very little talent, especially from the pass rush standpoint. You see there's where we got Josh Perry at our Sam. We've got Larry Carter and Hanker. Actually, I need to swap that. I need to put Santininos up there. 2. We'll do Hanker. Yeah, we'll do Hanker and then Dishman. Actually, we'll put Demetri Johnson out there as the 4 because Dishman's got great exposure. Kapai, Staten, Richmond. Kapai is probably our most balanced linebacker because he can get after the quarterback and he can play a little bit in zone coverage or play in coverage. So he's kind of our most well-rounded linebacker, but my worry is his pro potential. He's probably going to leave after this year, so this might be a one-and-done year for Randolph Kapai. And then our corners, you can see I basically tried to prioritize speed where I could, coverage where also I could, and youth where I could, especially with Frankie Edwards III. I didn't mention him. Playing styles is deal breaker, passing yards per game. Hoping he can maybe raise that to a point where he doesn't want to transfer because he is a 3-star prospect. And then you got Brawley, Moore, Murphy. And you've got Combs, Moore, and McCray. And that rounds it out. And I'll show you quickly our sub-linebacker package, which starts Kaiwan, McCray, and Kapai, and Johnson is our 3rd guy. And that's pretty much it. That's your Lobos for the 25-26 season. Hopefully we have a good year. We'll see what happens. Hopefully this was fairly entertaining, or at the very least watchable. We'll catch y'all next time. Whenever we have a game, week 1 against Arizona.